Verbal or life. Um,
Welcome to Verbal on Life. Thank you for joining us. My name is Noel, battling MS. Here at Verbal on Life, trying to be verbal and create a platform where you can be verbal and comment down below. Tell me what you think about this. In this episode, we're going to be reacting to Puff Daddy. I mean, everybody just shocked how insane was that raid on his homes. Like they sent in the top military, HSI, the Housing and Development Company, to take his house down. Crazy. And we don't know why. But let's take a look at a video by Chink Smooth that talks about it. And it's a crazy video. If this is your first time on the platform, please consider subscribing so I can create this platform and make it bigger and bigger. I'm trying to get to 2,000 and we're going to need your support. So please go ahead and subscribe and like so we could get this video out to more people. All right, let's take a look.
With it, man. Now, this is very terrifying. So, after Diddy's house was raided by the feds a couple weeks ago, a lot of us did not understand the severity of it. So far, all we've seen is a couple pictures of the kids being arrested. But as of today, we finally have a glimpse into what actually took place during the raid. Now, the mother of one of Diddy's sons, Justin Combs, is speaking out, and she's also shared footage of what actually happened during the raid. Now, she released this footage, as you guys can see. This seems like they're targeting a terrorist with this amount of force. She wrote in the caption saying, "The overzealous and overtly militarized force used against my sons, Justin and Christian, is deplorable. If these were the sons of a non-black celebrity, they would not have been handled with the same aggression. The attempt to humiliate and terrorize these innocent young black men is despicable. Enough is enough. Did Justin need several laser beams from firearms pointed at his chest? Did Christian need a gun pointed at the back of his head while he was handcuffed? How many times have we seen young, unarmed black men not make it out of these types of situations alive? My son's attorney, Jeffrey Lichman, is investigating the excessive use of force, which was unnecessary and certainly not required by this search warrant. We will fight for justice, utilizing every imaginable resource. I'm not with the propaganda." Now, Misa is not the only person who's speaking out against how this was all handled. News
They went all out. This was way pre-planned, making sure that ain't nobody getting hurt. None of the cops are getting hurt. They're fully armored. Everybody got guns ready to go. I could only imagine the meeting right before going over here.
journalist Chris Cuomo, he also spoke out on this and said, "Yo, if this was a white family, their children would not have been treated this way." Here's what
You know what? And I hate the fact that they're bringing race into this whole situation. I mean, it's got to be more than just race. Because Diddy has been considered like a bad guy for years now. And you know, when you're that rich, you get a lot of haters. So a lot of people hated on Diddy, but now they're trying to throw race into the mix. I don't think it's necessary. I think it's just there's something else going on. You know, they talked about him recording people with a bunch of recordings everywhere for people at the top. So maybe those individuals are the ones that send in the cop.
Chris said.
The idea of this becoming more about hip hop, this investigation doesn't smell right from an investigative perspective. And I'll tell you why. Ordinarily, here's how it works. You start working bottom up in an investigation like this. This is essentially a RICO case. Okay. This is a racketeering case. That's what they're going to do, is get him for ancillary activities that were part of what they're going to say was a criminal enterprise. You get the little guys. They start to bubble up. You now get your subpoenas out. You get your information, your web of networks of contacts and communications, which is a treasure trove these days because everybody's doing this all the time. Then you punctuate it with things that you now have an understanding where they might be and what they might mean, and you raid. And then you indict and or arrest. That's the way it usually works. Here, we didn't hear about a lot of these things until the raid, which may have been motivated by these civil suits, which are laid out very well, by the way, especially that little rod. It reads like a novel.
Yeah. He had a bunch of people trying to sue him because the statute of limitation that you could sue individuals was going to run out, or they opened it up so that people can sue Diddy. And then after that, after all the lawsuits, now this, man, it's crazy.
Then there's no action on Diddy. Diddy's waving, going to Adam's friends' restaurants.
He was in Pura Vida in Miami filming with Wes Watson this weekend. Meanwhile, his sons have been arrested.
There's something off about this investigation. And
how can he be walking around and not being arrested? They're taking pictures of him and videos of him in Florida. So that's the crazy part. You know what I mean? How can they do all of this and not just bring him in or call his lawyer to have him just come in and turn himself in? Like Jeffrey Epstein turns himself in. Then they have to go get him. So Diddy knows something that we don't know. The man's a genius.
What it smells like to me is that hip hop is a great boogeyman for the feds. Hip hop is bad. They don't see it as what it is now, which is my kids' culture. Okay. My white kids living in the Hamptons live hip hop. My daughter is going a little country on me. The songwriter, she's been writing some country, so I don't know where she gets that from. But I think that there are going to be some big surprises in this investigation of the nothing variety. And it's going to be a big problem for the feds. You bust a billionaire's house who's a major culture figure. Mm-hmm. You put his kids in cuffs. I know they thought there may be weapons in the house, and that's a protocol for them. But I tell you, I don't think they would have done it to Mark Cuban's kids. And
you see, they don't have to bring in race. It got nothing to do with race. Maybe it has to do with who P. Diddy was dealing with. People at the higher ups. I really don't agree with the whole racial factor of this. So Chris Cuomo is always doing this, trying to bring in other factors. But I wonder if Diddy is going to sue or what. But I don't think it has anything to do with race. I don't think there's systematic racism. I'm going to be the first to say I don't think racism even exists because P. Diddy's a billionaire. There's no way racism could exist and that man to be walking around.
I think that this is going to wind up having a nothing burger aspect.
You think so?
I'll tell you. I know that 90-10, anybody who's been around investigations will say, no way. They would have never raided his house if they don't have him. Look, an indictment is a probable cause standard. It's the lowest standard in our business. That's why we say you can indict a ham sandwich, right? I don't smell that they have him on the kinds of major felonies that were being teased early on, except for one component. He's got a lot of friends. No one's defending him right now. That makes me a little suspicious. Where are his friends?
Yep.
But it's not lining up right in terms of how they usually do this, Pat.
Now, I definitely agree that there was excessive force used, but because we don't see videos like this often, we don't really know what's proper procedure and what's not. And also keep in mind,
exactly, we don't know what's proper procedure. These men and women are going in there, and God forbid somebody gets hurt.
Diddy was not arrested that day. According to TMZ, you guys saw the pictures when they pulled up on him and arrested his alleged drug mule. So if Diddy is not deemed as a severe threat to them, there really wasn't any use for this kind of firepower. You guys get in the comments below. Tell me what you guys think about this footage. And tell me if you guys agree that this was too much force used. Post your comments below. Subscribe to my channel, like this video. I'll see you guys later, man.
So the amount of force used, yeah, we don't know the protocol or how they do this. The only thing that I also didn't like is the fact that they had the media go there to record the whole event. Like, to me, that looks coordinated. Like, they called TMZ and they called all the other broadcasters to both LA and Miami to get this on tape. Because the footage looks awesome. Everything that they recorded, which was great. And not only that, it was all over the news. It even made it to Fox. Check this out.
Against Diddy's sons. She went on to question if such a response would have happened if they were the sons of a non-black celebrity. She said it was unnecessary for rifles to be pointed at Diddy's sons. Now, Fox News sources at the federal level confirm that these HSI raids at Diddy's properties here in LA and in Miami were in connection to a federal sex trafficking probe. Video obtained by TMZ shows the aftermath of that raid inside of Diddy's LA property, pretty much depicting the home essentially turned inside out, as you can see. And Jesse, we did reach out to Diddy's attorneys, his ex, and DHS for comment. We haven't heard back from anybody yet, but Diddy has not been arrested, nor has he been charged with any crime yet, and his lawyers have previously denied any wrongdoing. We'll send it back to you.
And that's crazy, the fact that he hasn't been charged. And this is all over the news. But coming up below, what do you think about this whole situation? The fact that they haven't charged Diddy. What does that even mean? You know, already conspiracy theories are coming out left and right. You got Candace Owens giving her theory as to what's going on, how it's supposed to work. Crazy. But shout out to all the viewers. Jasper, well, what do you think about this? He said, Noel, you're learning the difference, or you just are blind to see the difference. I mean, what is the difference? I mean, what are we talking about here? Tell me. Any other raid you see to this degree? That raid they did on P. Diddy, yeah, it looked excessive to us who don't know the law. And like, this is the first time it gets televised. We don't know how they do to other criminals. We don't know how they go in to make sure that nobody gets hurt. Plus, you do understand that they knew that there were guns in there. They know when you buy a gun, it's registered. So the gun company has a registration and they send it to the government. So they know already that there are guns in there. But it was crazy, over the top, excessive use of force there. And which of the P. Diddy friends are coming out to talk in his favor? I saw an interview by, what's this guy name? One of P. Diddy's friends came out on TMZ talking about it. And he was trying to say that the way they went in there was excessive, unnecessary for them to use that much force. And there was really no need for them to do that. Let me see if I can find a video for you guys. But I'll say this much. I don't think it has anything to do with race. Right? I think it has to do more with police procedures or protocol. Because there's no way there could be racism and we have so many billionaires walking around who don't really care about race. I'm pretty sure P. Diddy doesn't care about race. He just makes a lot of money. The man is a billionaire. So if there was systematic racism, they would try to stop him from making all that money, but they couldn't. Puff Daddy was a guy who knew how to make money. And he was able to make a lot of money. All right, check out this clip from Stevie J. Stevie J is the man. I used to be a fan of him. But a lot of things came out saying that he was in a relationship with Puff Daddy, which I don't believe it. That's true.
I don't know whatever someone does in their bedroom, that's what they do. I don't got nothing to do with that. I'm just here to say that I've never seen my man doing anything foul like they talking about.
None of it. All of it. I mean, you know.
I've never seen it. I've known him for 29 years. And then it's like with guys like 50. You know what I'm saying? Like Uncle Tom, cats like that.
Calling 50 Cent and Uncle Tom. I mean, they look at him smiling. I don't believe the gay rumors, only because we live in an era where it's okay to be gay. Like, you could just come out and say it and you won't get canceled. So if Puff Diddy was of that persuasion, he wouldn't have a problem saying it. But he never has said it. And look at Stevie J saying that, and it's not true. Let's keep listening.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, you want to put me, I don't know if y'all saw the poster where 50 posted about me. Of course you guys see
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
yeah, I mean, 50 has been going after Diddy and everybody associated with him for months now, ever since the Cassie lawsuit.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, you can't brush under the rug. I don't see anybody reporting about what Tatted Up Holly said about him beating her up, and about, you know what I'm saying, his other baby mom saying beating her up. I just look at it as, you know, he wants to bring the black community down worse than anyone else. How is that so? I said what I said in my post, and I'm standing on that too. Now, since he didn't accept what my offer to him, and he want to continue to be a comedian, why don't you go make some movies with Michael Black?
I think the offer that Stevie J put out there was that he wanted to fight 50 Cent and donate the money to a charity of his choosing. If I'm wrong, comment down below. But Stevie J's a beast. You know, gotta give him a shout out. Wanting to fight 50 Cent. 50 Cent is like a giant. So to fight him one-on-one is not easy.
And don't talk about him.
Okay.
If you don't want to fight, if you don't want to donate to charity, donate the bread to charity and fight. Don't stop being a girl and talking about dudes. I find it funny that, when they first try to crucify somebody, they go through the media first, and they're just flooded with lies and propaganda. I'm not concerned about this this dude Curtis. You know what I'm saying? He's Uncle Tom, and that's just what it is. I'm gonna speak on 1,000% of what I know to be true about my guy. My spirits are up. He's spending time with his children and his mother. You know what I'm saying? I'm working out.
Shout out to Stevie J. He's so funny. I just can't help but laugh while listening to him. And I mean, hey, if he's saying it's not true, I don't know what to tell you. It's crazy.
He's doing very well. I've known this guy for 29 years. See, I'm not just a guy off the internet trolling. I'm a first-hand witness.
Stevie, it's my understanding that when the raid went down in Miami, were you on Star Island or were you actually at Diddy's house? I know you were in Miami.
I was at his crib working in the studio. I was sitting outside the studio door, and I heard a big boom. Now, mind you, before we get into this, I'm not a spring chicken, even though I look fly and stuff. But I've witnessed some historical events of excessive force, but none like this since Saddam Hussein or El Chapo.
They took it to another level. The way they went in there for Puffy, oh my God. It was impressive. That lets you know, don't mess with the government. They got the bigger guns.
Pablo Escobar, even Osama bin Laden. I heard a big boom. So I'm thinking a lot of people do work on the island all day long. So I'm figuring someone drops the materials. Heard it again. Turn my head, I'm hearing do, 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 do. Armored vehicles, 3 big armored vehicles come.
It was like a movie. That's a good movie. They should make a movie out of that because the way they went in there with armored vehicle, that's too funny.
Dudes jump out. I got 50 dots on my shirt, screaming, "Yo, get on the ground!" I'm like, "Yo, really? I'm the only one here." Took me outside. I asked to speak to the higher ups. I asked was under arrest, and they said, "No, you're being detained. I want to speak to the higher ups." Spoke to the higher ups. I said, "Am I under arrest?" They said, "No, you're not. Let me let you go." Boom. Let me go check your bags. You don't have any weapons and all. I'm like, I don't have any weapons.
Stevie,
Shout out to Stevie J. He was too hilarious.
They take from the house.
And I guess I'm only saying that it's funny because it didn't happen to me. It's one of those things that when it happens to somebody else, I'm glad nobody got hurt. And that's what I think is funny because nobody got hurt at the end. And God only knows the conspiracy behind all of this.
Were you able to see?
I saw them take like a bag of one bag.
Well, did they take electronics? Because they did in Los Angeles.
I'm sure they took some electronics, some of the camera stuff and all that. Probably they didn't want him to get a look at what they were doing in his crib, like how they came in with the armored trucks. Of course, they took all that stuff.
What did you see when you walked back in?
I just don't want to get too much into that. I just know that I walked in and they messed the man crib up, you know what I'm saying? And they did his crib dirty. And, I haven't seen anything like this in a long time.
Can you tell us what his reaction was when you spoke to him the next day?
He was just devastated, just mainly because he was going out of the country with his daughters for spring break, and they had to witness things like that at the airport. I believe that would kind of shift the thinking of any man in general. If you're going on vacation with your kids and the feds show up and ruin your trip, and it's their senior year, you know what I mean? So I know he was more hurt by that.
Shout out to Stevie J. And he was the only guy so far that's come out and speaking on the side of Puff Daddy. A lot of people are not coming out. Puff Daddy already told people, if you're on my side, then come out and say something. Otherwise, keep your mouth shut. And I know who's on my side. And it's crazy for a millionaire or a billionaire like Puff Daddy, and who has to go up against the cops. Not only that, but now they're saying that he's not really a billionaire because he's having trouble paying off his houses. Like he's behind like $400 million or over $400 million. So now they're trying to say that, well, he's probably not really a billionaire if he owes that much money. So it's a crazy story. But comment down below, what do you think? This story is only getting crazier and crazier. What's today? Wednesday, April 3rd. So let's see how it gets. As we get closer and closer to the summer, more and more stories are coming out. And it looks like it's going to be a crazy summer. And I hope I can continue giving you guys content. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. My name is Noel, battling MS, celebrating the fact that I can still talk and walk. I could talk little. But as long as I continue making these videos, I could continue talking and just being verbal on life. So comment down below, subscribe. Let's keep it going.
Verbal on life.
What else are we going to say? No, so I got to give a shout out to Puff Daddy because the man is strong. A bunch of allegations are now coming out of left field. The fact that he hurt a bunch of people. I don't like that story about a guy being shot in the bathroom of his house, only because the guy who got shot is not coming out. The other guy is now implicating him and saying that there was a guy shot, but where is the guy? Like, shouldn't the guy come out on the news and like lawsuits and all of that? So that's an allegation. And then the other allegation is about him being romantically involved with other men. There's really no footage, no videos. It's all hearsay. So that's a whole another, people just want to chase clout and just want to talk about it and get their time online or with the media saying, making all these allegations. So unless you got footage or video of any of that, I don't know. It's definitely difficult to believe. That took a minute for me to say difficult. I hear something upstairs. All right. I'm here in my basement. Made a video for 21 minutes. Thank you for those of you who joined me on this, on me being verbal on life and me being able to communicate. I haven't been in the basement in a while. So this is my return to making videos in the basement. I got to charge my phone. I just installed FSD on my car. So I'm enjoying the fact that the car could drive itself. And for somebody like me who can barely walk, that's nice. I could tell the car to just go. And I could just sit there. Then I'm going to make a video on that next. Me in the car just enjoying full self-driving. Crazy. But, all right. 22 minutes into the video. What else can I point out? Haven't been to the basement in a while. We got the Puff Daddy problem, which I think I'm the only guy who's going to say this on, oh, there was a guy on The View that pointing out the fact that there's really no racism. Even though The View, that's the TV show, was trying to point out the fact that racism do exist. And the guy went on there saying that maybe we should look at people for individuals. Yes, I see race. Yes, I can see your race. I can see your color. But at the end of the day, you judge their character. You judge how they're built. And I really like that guy's response to racism. And the fact that what we need to do is to stop talking about it. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go online. I'm going to say it. I don't think racism exists. And that's something you're not going to hear anybody say. So I'm going to say it like this. I don't think systematic racism exists, which is a little different. Systematic racism, that's like racism as a whole. Everybody's racist. And I don't think that's the case. Here, let me show the video of the guy that went on The View.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Oh, this is the gentleman. His name is Coleman Hughes. Can I show this? I don't know if I could show this video. This is from Joe Rogan.
Yeah, I saw you on the and
shout out to Sunny Huston. He doesn't even know who she is, and she's been on The View for a while. She got to become more famous. You know, I received my wake-up call when I was in high school. I used to work at a daycare, summer school, and I noticed the daycare was like kids in the upper end, like millionaires. And it was white, black, Asian, all races. And they didn't see races. They just saw their friends. They just played around and talked with each other, not looking at race. They were just the friendliest kids alive, like 5 and 6 year old. I was like, whoa, they don't even care about their race. So that was my wake up call way back in high school.
Your personal quality.
You got to love how this guy talks so clearly, so precise. He's very good with his words.
Yeah.
That's how you're supposed to be open to vote Republican or Democrat, depending on the person. This man is just a genius. Coleman Hughes, he's part of the reason why I think systematic racism does not exist. Comment down below, what do you think? The man sounded great. He's able to express himself in words, in a book, and personally. The man knows how to debate. The man knows how to argue. He knows how to speak well. You got to give him credit. So in my opinion, that was a great, great interview he just did with Joe Rogan. Nothing to do with race. You can do whatever you want. There's no systematic racism. You just got to push hard and work. Don't be lazy.
Verbal or life.